This ended up being so much better than we expected as Patrik Allvin gives a huge update on Marcus Pettersson, and Drew O'Connor looks like a steal for the Vancouver Canucks. We're going to break all this down and more later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're a part of the 71% that's not subscribed yet and you're enjoying this daily Canucks content, and there's so much of it coming out recently, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We'll keep you up to date on everything to do around the team. With that, let's just hop straight into the first topic today, which is the fact that Marcus Pettersson is looking like an absolute steal for the Canucks. Now, looking at this, we know the Vancouver Canucks and made a bunch of trades. On Friday night, the second trade they made was getting Marcus Pettersson, who we're going to touch on in a second, Drew O'Connor. They had two cap dumps in Danton Heinen and Vincent Desharnais. They moved on from third-round pick Melvin Fernstrom and the first that they got in the JT Miller trade. Now, looking at this, the first thing is, yes, fans are upset that we moved on from JT Miller, and I think that's kind of overshadowed what the Canucks truly got in this. The first big thing is we've seen a quote coming from Patrik Allvin. It's definitely different. I do like the pieces we have added here. Marcus was a key piece for us. We're looking since the start of the summer, and the type of defensemen are hard to get. I felt with him, there wasn't a whole lot available on the market. A lot of teams were asking for our young players. Wellender was one of them. Minio was another one. Elias Pettersson, which is DPD, of course. But looking at this, you can pause, you can read through this. The biggest thing is teams were asking the Canucks for top prospects on this team. Wellender, who is the top defensive prospect in the Canucks' entire organization. Jonathan Lekkerimäki. These guys were being asked for defensemen. The fact that the Canucks went out, moved on from two contracts that have not worked, plus a first and a third to acquire a defenseman without going into what they already have in their prospect pool is a major piece. Yes, this first round pick could turn into the next greatest player in the entire NHL, but it does seem like a late first. Melvin Fernstrom hasn't been proven yet, but he does look like a good piece that is playing well in the SHL, but you don't touch your top prospects. Now, looking at this, Marcus Pettersson is your perfect stereotypical two-way shutdown defenseman on the second line. Putting up 30 points last year with the Pittsburgh Penguins, all this came 5-on-5. He was a plus 28. This year in 47 games, 18 points. Marcus Pettersson has been playing the second line quite a bit. The biggest thing with this is, as well, he hasn't got any power play time. Chris Letang, Erik Karlsson, these guys took all the time on the power play. So putting up 30 points last season, playing all 82 games, while still playing no power play time, but getting a lot of penalty kill time, this is the perfect second pairing defenseman for the Canucks. Now, looking at this, we also did get a tweet saying that Rick Tocchet says he got a text from Sidney Crosby saying the Canucks got good players and teammates in picking up Marcus Pettersson and Drew O'Connor. Specifically praised Marcus Pettersson's leadership. This is a huge thing as well, because looking at this Canucks team, we understand that it came out, there was a lot of drama in this locker room. There was a lot of tension between the team. Getting a guy like Marcus Pettersson, who is a huge leader. If you go on Twitter and just search up Marcus Pettersson Pittsburgh, you'll see clips of him making the team laugh, getting everyone fired up, seeming like a great guy to have in a locker room, to make sure there's no rifts, to help build this. The biggest thing with this is it hopefully fixes the Canucks locker room even more than what might be happening. Now, looking into Marcus Pettersson's advanced stats, the biggest thing with the Canucks, they've been terrible. Most of their defensemen, other than Quinn Hughes, has been pretty bad at clearing the zone. Looking at Marcus Pettersson's advanced stats on defensive zone retrievals and exits, this is about league average, where it says minus 0.01. This is a tad below league average. Looking at the rest of it, he is so far ahead of the entire National Hockey League in defensive zone touches per 60, 2.06, which is crazy high compared to the rest of the NHL. Exits per 60, almost 2. You can pause this and read this. The biggest thing with Marcus Pettersson is he's going to come in, disrupt plays. He's going to lead this locker room. He has a long stick. He's 6'5". He's not going to be the strongest player, but from everything I've read, he's going to disrupt so many passes and help the Canucks move the puck out of the defensive zone, add more secondary puck moving skill to this team, so it's not just the top line of Quinn Hughes and Hronek having to play what feels like an entire 60 minutes in a hockey game. Looking at this, along with the fact that he's a leader to this locker room, is huge for this team. Now, the biggest question with him was his contract, but Patrik Allvin spoke out and said, I have not talked to Marcus's agent. We were traveling today. We just exchanged texts. He is definitely a priority for us to get him signed. Now, this is a huge text because the biggest thing with this is we've seen the Canucks go out and add an impact defender in Nikita Sidorov last year. Completely different player, but they walked him straight into free agency, lost him for nothing to a rival in the Boston Bruins. Getting this contract signed is going to be big, and it seems like Patrik Allvin is very keen on getting this done so they don't lose him for nothing. Looking at his contract, he joins his team on a 1 year deal. 1 year left on his deal. He signed for 5 years, actually acquired by Jim Rutherford in Pittsburgh as well, which was a huge factor on getting him. But a $4 million cap hit. He is a UFA at the end of the year. He's excited to join this team. The biggest thing is a big body defenseman that can shut down plays. Getting him signed is going to be huge for this team, but it doesn't end there. As we can quickly look at his stats, he throws hits, he blocks shots. This defenseman is huge, and I know I say that quite a bit in this video, but this is a major add, and it doesn't even stop there. Where you pick up Drew O'Connor, who scored 16 goals last season with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Looking at Drew O'Connor, he's once again a UFA. The Canucks may end up signing him, or he might have just been an added piece to this. But looking at Drew O'Connor as a whole, this is a guy that can add so much depth to this team. A 1 year deal, a low cap hit. As I said, 16 goals, 17 assists is nothing to be shy about when looking at a player like this. Drew O'Connor, who is an undrafted free signing, 26 years old, still has room to grow, can fill out this middle six immediately, or if you want to put him on the fourth line, if you want to move Höglander farther up, Drew O'Connor looks like an awesome add for this Canucks team. And if you don't want to just take my word, I looked through the Penguins subreddit as well as this trade broke, looking at some messages from their fans. We knew Petey was gone, but DOC hurts in a weird way. Dude legit cared. We don't have many of those, but he gave it everything he had every game. Yeah, he played with passion, which he has severely lacked in this team. Seeing these words, someone that plays hard every game, gives it all, plays with passion. This is exactly what not only Rick Tocchet wants, but this entire fan base. Yes, losing out on JT Miller. Yes, not going out and picking up maybe a number 2 defenseman. Marcus Pettersson's going to fill out this second pairing. You have a big three of Hughes, Hronek, Pettersson, Tom Willinder waiting to join this team. Tyler Myers is still here. Soucy, Forbert, Juleson, Mancini. This is a deep defense with the Canucks, what they're growing here. This doesn't include adding Drew O'Connor with the more moves coming. Looking at all of this, what's your thoughts on this trade? Put everything away with the fact the first was acquired because of JT Miller. Does this trade alone make you fired up? Do you think this fixes the defense? Are you excited for the game versus Detroit tonight? Because I cannot wait to see these guys debut and what they bring to this team. How much do you think he'll get paid? Let me know down in the comments. Right down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode tonight, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark Bye, and take care.